I have beaten every single Souls game. The main game, not the DLC. I might do the DLC somewhere in like the future, but as of now, I have beaten the main game of every single Dark Souls game. Dark Souls 1, main game, beaten. Dark Souls 2, main game, beaten. And Dark Souls 3, recently, main game, beaten. Every single one of them. And my favorite one, I'm not gonna lie, it has to be DS3. DS3, Dark Souls 3 was, in my opinion, there's just no contest. I mean, there's a bit of a contest with Dark Souls 1 with some of the bosses in some of the areas, like in Orlando, with its beautiful layout and its beautiful sun, and with its combat and parry mechanics. That is one thing that I think Dark Souls 1 did better than Dark Souls 3, and that was the parry system. That's it. I thought the parry mechanic in Dark Souls 1 was fucking perfection. And then in Dark Souls 3, they made it where you have to parry at like the millisecond when it's about to hit you. So it makes it insanely hard even like get a chance. My audio is too loud again. Like if my game audio is loud and you can barely hear me, I'm sorry. I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't know what happened to my G-Hub, my Logitech G-Hub app, but for some reason it just fucked up all my settings. Apart from the Souls content, I'm kind of thinking about like going back into like Black Ops 2 and playing some like gun game and some party modes, and you know, just trolling in zombies or just talking while in like a public match or solo. Kind of what I'm doing right now, where I'm just talking while playing zombies, you know, just doing my own thing. Dark Souls 2 is like the black sheep. It just feels like the black sheep to Souls games. Like you play Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 3, like they both feel similar, they both feel like almost the same. But then there's just Dark Souls 2 where it's just like, what the fuck are you, man? I don't know. There's just something about Dark Souls 2. Well, I mean, I can say what I don't like about the game. I said it. Final part of me beating Dark Souls 2, I said why I don't really like the game that much, but I don't hate Dark Souls 2. But you compare Dark Souls 2 to something like DS1, it's not even close. It's not even a close comparison. With DS3, I like, bro, the soundtrack. I said it inside of the Solo Cinder video. By the way, I am so fucking sorry about that video, dude. I fucked up bad. I messed up bad. I just did not think that the audio was going to be that loud, and I did not think that my mic was going to be low. I'm trying to make it where my mic is loud, but to the point where it's not picking up my like sticks. Like right now, like it's picking up my sticks, and I don't like that. And I try to, you know, pick around with settings to try to make it where loud, but it's not picking up every single sound in the background. And when I tried doing that, it just made my mic very, very low, and the audio, the game volume, really high. Right now, it should be decent. DDW, this fucking gun slayed in multiplayer, bro. Listen, man, I know that the MSMC was the GOAT weapon, but don't sleep on the PDW, man. This shit was fucking nice. If I had to rank each Dark Souls game, I would rank it from worst to best. So Dark Souls 2, easily. Dark Souls 1, and then Dark Souls 3. And that's mainly due to like the combat, the dodging, the weapons, the accessibility, the soundtrack. Oh my god, the soundtrack, bro. If the soundtrack was a person, I would jerk it off. It is amazing. I really hope they don't build a shield all the way down there. Actually, no. I might just camp down there. I don't know. The stuff that I would change in Dark Souls 2, like the bosses, the combat. Bro, the parry mechanic. No. Listen, I'm gonna put you niggas on game. Dark Souls 2 has the shittiest parry combat system in Souls history. Period. The amount of times that I have wanted to dive or dodge at the very last second that I'm done attacking, I can't do that, but I can do that in Dark Souls 3.
For example, if you attack an enemy and then try and quickly dodge out the way for if he does a follow-up attack. You attack and then you try and dodge. You have to attack, wait a second, and then you can roll away. And that makes the whole game, it changes everything, because Dark Souls is about those really fast, quick actions, quick reaction times. You've got to quickly try and dodge an enemy's attack, and sometimes things can be down to the frames. Literally, if you dodge a frame earlier, it can mean you take damage. or if you dodge a frame later, it can you take damage.
The amount of times where I want to get a last hit in and then I want to dodge at the very last second, but I can't because there's a delay. The amount of times that has happened is insane. So you have to literally play turn-based combat sometimes, and it's just, I mean, I know that you can do that in Dark Souls 3, but what I'm saying is most of the bosses in Dark Souls 2, you have to play turn-based combat. You just have to. Fuck out speed color, you fucking dick cock motherfucker. Great at this game. I don't know, man. This is something about Dark Souls 2 that I just fucking despise, man. Half of the bosses, they feel like mobs. Like that Skeleton Lord boss, it feels like a mob. It doesn't feel like a boss at all. There are so many bosses, quote unquote bosses in that game that feel like I'm fighting a mob. The soundtrack in Dark Souls 2 is... There are only 2 boss soundtracks that I generally remember. That is the Smelter Demon fight and... Nah, that's it. Like, the Dark Souls 2 OST was like... I mean, like, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't really like... It wasn't like Dark Souls 3 where you could, like, remember it for years down the road. Like, the Abyss Watcher, Void, Blue Dex Gunny, Pontiff, Sullivan, Soul Ascender. The Soul Ascender fight, bro, that fight is a perfect example of how to have a boss that is not only good, but you can remember for years down the road. Like, the arena with all the swords, not only does to show that so many people have fallen here, but so many people have tried to beat him and they failed. The arena is cool. Also, Lorien and Lothric, same thing. Arena, cool. Soundtrack, cool. The boss itself, the moveset is cool. Almost every single boss fight in Dark Souls 3, it's either meh or it's good or great, or just flat out amazing. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I don't know what this video was. You know what? I might play some Outlast. You know, that horror game. I might play that game. I don't know. I have nothing else on my agenda, but I will find something. It's gonna be good. I promise. Bye bye. Hey, detective. I saw my watch on my dick.